Today, I want to share a powerful idea inspired by Wealth is the Natural Result of God-Centered Thinking by Dr. Joseph Murphy, a message that shifts how we see success, abundance, and our inner world. True wealth is not just about money. It begins in the mind and flows from a deep connection with faith, purpose, and positive belief. Wealth begins with God-centered thoughts, a principle that transforms the way we understand both prosperity and purpose by shifting attention away from purely material pursuits toward a deeper inner alignment with divine intelligence. When a person anchors their thinking in a higher power, they move beyond fear-driven decisions and scarcity-based beliefs, entering instead a state of trust, clarity, and creative flow. This kind of thinking does not deny the importance of effort, planning, or ambition, but it redefines their source, making them expressions of a calm and centered mind rather than reactions to anxiety or competition. A God-centered mindset nurtures the belief that abundance is not something to chase desperately, but something that unfolds naturally when the mind is in harmony with truth, faith, and positive expectation. It encourages individuals to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to remain steady where others panic, and to act with confidence rooted not in ego, but in spiritual assurance. Such thinking reshapes internal dialogue, replacing thoughts of lack with affirmations of sufficiency and potential. Instead of constantly worrying about not enough, a person begins to think in terms of more than enough, trusting that the universe operates on principles of growth, expansion, and provision. This shift in mental perspective directly influences behavior, because actions always follow beliefs. A mind that is centered on divine guidance naturally adopts patience, persistence, and discipline, qualities that are essential for building lasting wealth. It becomes easier to make wise financial decisions, to avoid impulsive choices, and to maintain focus on long-term goals, because the mind is no longer clouded by doubt or desperation. God-centered thoughts create a sense of inner stability, and from that stability comes the ability to navigate challenges without losing direction. Another powerful aspect of this principle is the idea that thoughts are not passive but creative. When aligned with faith and higher purpose, thoughts act as seeds planted in the subconscious, eventually manifesting as real-life outcomes. This means that wealth is not merely a product of external circumstances, but a reflection of inner consciousness. By consistently nurturing thoughts of abundance, gratitude, and trust, a person conditions their mind to expect success, and this expectation subtly shapes their choices, interactions, and opportunities. People with this mindset often find themselves attracting the right connections, recognizing the right moments, and taking the right actions almost intuitively, as if guided by an unseen force. This is not coincidence, but the natural result of a mind attuned to a higher frequency of thinking. God-centered thinking also cultivates gratitude, which is a key ingredient in the experience of wealth. Gratitude shifts focus from what is missing to what is already present, creating a sense of fulfillment that exists independently of external conditions. This feeling of contentment does not reduce ambition. Instead, it fuels a healthier form of ambition that is not driven by lack, but by appreciation and purpose. When a person is grateful, they are more likely to use their resources wisely, to invest in meaningful ways, and to create value for others. Wealth, in this sense, becomes not just accumulation, but contribution, a flow rather than a static possession. The more one appreciates, the more one recognizes opportunities to grow and expand, reinforcing the cycle of abundance. Fear, which often blocks financial and personal growth, loses its power in a God-centered mindset. Fear thrives in uncertainty and the belief that one is alone in facing life's challenges. When a person truly believes in a guiding presence, fear is replaced with faith and hesitation is replaced with action. This does not mean the absence of challenges or risks, but it means approaching them with courage and resilience. A person who trusts in a higher plan is less likely to be paralyzed by setbacks and more likely to see them as temporary and instructive. This resilience is critical in the journey toward wealth, where persistence often makes the difference between success and failure. Discipline also becomes more natural under this way of thinking. Instead of forcing oneself to stay consistent through sheer willpower, actions begin to align with a deeper sense of purpose. When goals are connected to something greater than personal gain, motivation becomes more sustainable. A person is more willing to put in the effort, to learn from mistakes, and to keep moving forward because their actions feel meaningful rather than burdensome. This sense of meaning strengthens commitment and enhances productivity, leading to better results over time. Another important dimension is the alignment between values and actions. God-centered thoughts encourage integrity, honesty, and fairness, qualities that build trust and long-term success. In the world of wealth creation, trust is one of the most valuable assets. People are naturally drawn to those who are authentic and reliable, and this opens doors to partnerships, opportunities, and collaborations that might not otherwise exist. Wealth built on strong values tends to be more stable and enduring, as it is supported by genuine relationships and a positive reputation. This principle also emphasizes the importance of imagination and vision. A mind connected to higher thinking is not limited by current circumstances, but is capable of envisioning greater possibilities. This vision acts as a blueprint for future success, guiding actions and decisions in a purposeful direction. By holding a clear and positive image of desired outcomes, a person trains their mind to work toward those outcomes, often finding creative solutions and innovative approaches along the way. This creative power is amplified when it is rooted in faith, as it removes the mental barriers that typically restrict thinking. In daily life, practicing God-centered thinking involves conscious effort, such as choosing positive thoughts, reflecting on spiritual principles, and maintaining a sense of connection with a higher purpose. Over time, these practices become habits, and the mind naturally gravitates toward constructive and empowering patterns. This transformation does not happen overnight, but with consistency, it leads to profound changes in perception, behavior, and results. The individual begins to experience a sense of peace and confidence that is not dependent on external validation or immediate success, creating a strong foundation for sustainable growth. Ultimately, wealth begins in the mind, and when that mind is centered on faith, purpose, and positive expectation, it becomes a powerful force for creation and achievement. Mindset shapes financial and life outcomes in ways that are far deeper and more influential than most people initially realize. Because every decision, habit, and reaction originates from a pattern of thinking that has been developed over time. The way a person interprets opportunities, handles challenges, and views their own potential is not random. It is a direct reflection of their mindset. When someone operates with a mindset rooted in limitation, doubt, or fear, they unconsciously create boundaries that restrict growth, often missing opportunities simply because they do not believe those opportunities are meant for them. On the other hand, a mindset grounded in confidence, belief, and purpose opens doors, encourages action, and sustains effort even when results are not immediate. Financial outcomes are particularly sensitive to mindset because money decisions are rarely just logical. They are emotional and psychological. A person who believes that wealth is scarce or difficult to attain may develop habits such as hoarding, avoiding investment, or hesitating to take calculated risks. This kind of thinking leads to stagnation rather than growth, as fear becomes the controlling force behind financial behavior. In contrast, a person who believes in abundance and possibility is more likely to explore opportunities, invest in learning, and take strategic actions that increase their chances of success. This does not mean acting recklessly, but it does mean approaching decisions with a sense of possibility rather than limitation. The influence of mindset extends beyond individual decisions to long-term patterns. Repeated thoughts form beliefs, beliefs shape actions, and actions create results that reinforce the original beliefs. This cycle can either be empowering or limiting depending on the nature of the mindset. For example, if someone consistently thinks they are not capable of achieving financial success, they may avoid challenges, settle for less, and interpret setbacks as proof of their limitations. This reinforces the belief, creating a self-fulfilling pattern. However, if someone believes they can grow, learn, and improve, They are more likely to take initiative, persist through difficulties, and view failures as lessons rather than defeats. Mindset also determines how a person responds to setbacks, which are inevitable in any journey toward success. A fixed mindset sees failure as a reflection of personal inadequacy, leading to discouragement and withdrawal. A growth-oriented mindset, however, interprets failure as feedback, an opportunity to refine strategies and gain experience. This difference in interpretation has a significant impact on outcomes because it influences whether a person continues moving forward or stops altogether. Resilience, which is essential for long-term success, is largely a product of mindset rather than circumstance. Another critical aspect is the way mindset shapes perception of opportunity. Opportunities are often not obvious or perfectly presented. They require awareness, curiosity, and willingness to act. A negative or closed mindset may overlook these opportunities entirely, focusing instead on potential risks or reasons why something might not work. A positive and open mindset, on the other hand, is more likely to recognize possibilities and explore them. This does not guarantee success in every attempt, but it dramatically increases the number of attempts made and therefore the likelihood of achieving meaningful results. The social environment a person creates is also influenced by mindset. People tend to attract and connect with others who share similar ways of thinking. A mindset focused on growth and positivity often leads to relationships with individuals who are supportive, ambitious, and forward-thinking. These connections can provide encouragement, collaboration, and access to new opportunities. Conversely, a mindset centered on negativity or limitation may result in associations that reinforce those same patterns, making it more difficult to break out of unproductive cycles. In the context of personal development, mindset plays a central role in learning and skill acquisition. Someone who believes that abilities can be developed through effort is more likely to invest time in improving themselves, whether through education, practice, or experience. This continuous improvement enhances competence and confidence, both of which are crucial for achieving financial and life goals. A person who believes their abilities are fixed may avoid challenges that could lead to growth, limiting their potential over time. Emotional regulation is another area where mindset has a significant impact. Financial decisions and life choices often involve uncertainty, pressure, and risk. A strong and positive mindset helps individuals manage these emotions effectively, allowing them to think clearly and act rationally even in stressful situations. Without this mental stability, emotions such as fear, anxiety, or impatience can lead to poor decisions, such as impulsive spending, abandoning long-term plans, or avoiding necessary risks. Consistency, which is a key factor in achieving any meaningful outcome, is also driven by mindset. It is relatively easy to take action when motivation is high, but sustaining that action over time requires a deeper level of commitment that comes from belief and purpose. A person with a strong mindset does not rely solely on temporary motivation. They develop habits and routines that align with their goals, maintaining progress even when enthusiasm fluctuates. This steady effort accumulates over time, leading to significant results that might not be immediately visible. Mindset influences not only what a person does, but also how they experience their journey. Two individuals with similar external circumstances can have completely different experiences based on how they think. One may feel constantly stressed, dissatisfied, and overwhelmed, while the other feels engaged, hopeful, and fulfilled, even while facing similar challenges. This internal experience affects overall well-being and can either support or hinder long-term success. Another dimension is the alignment between goals and identity. When a person's mindset includes a strong sense of identity that supports their goals, actions become more natural and consistent. For example, someone who sees themselves as disciplined, capable, and growth-oriented is more likely to act in ways that reflect those qualities. This alignment reduces internal conflict and increases the likelihood of sustained effort. Without this alignment, even well-defined goals can feel forced or difficult to maintain. The language a person uses both internally and externally is also shaped by mindset and in turn reinforces it. Words influence thoughts, and thoughts influence actions. A mindset that uses empowering language focusing on possibilities, solutions, and growth creates a more constructive mental environment. Negative or limiting language, on the other hand, can reinforce doubt and reduce motivation. Over time, the cumulative effect of mindset on decisions, actions, and relationships becomes increasingly significant. Small differences in thinking can lead to vastly different outcomes when compounded over months and years. This is why mindset is often considered one of the most valuable assets a person can develop, as it underlies every other aspect of success. Ultimately, mindset is not something fixed or unchangeable. It can be developed and refined through awareness, practice, and intentional effort. By consciously choosing thoughts that support growth, abundance, and resilience, a person can gradually reshape their beliefs and behaviors, leading to improved financial and life outcomes. Faith replaces fear and limitation by transforming the internal environment in which decisions are made, shifting the focus from uncertainty and doubt to trust and possibility. Fear is often rooted in the anticipation of negative outcomes, creating hesitation, anxiety, and a tendency to avoid risk or responsibility. It narrows perception, making challenges appear larger than they are, and opportunities seem distant or unattainable. Limitation grows from this fear, forming invisible boundaries around what a person believes they can achieve. These boundaries are rarely based on actual capability. They are constructed from past experiences, external influences, and repeated patterns of negative thinking. Faith introduces a different perspective, one that expands vision and redefines what is possible by grounding thought in trust rather than doubt. When faith becomes the dominant force in a person's mindset, it alters how situations are interpreted. Instead of seeing obstacles as threats, they are viewed as temporary conditions that can be navigated with patience and effort. This does not eliminate difficulty, but it changes the emotional response to it. Fear tends to trigger stress and urgency, often leading to impulsive or avoidant behavior. Faith, on the other hand, creates a sense of calm and stability, allowing for thoughtful decision-making even in uncertain circumstances. This composure is essential for growth, as it enables individuals to act with clarity rather than reacting out of panic. One of the most powerful effects of faith is its ability to reduce self-doubt. Fear often manifests as an internal voice that questions ability, worth, or readiness, creating hesitation at critical moments. This hesitation can prevent individuals from taking opportunities that could lead to progress. Faith counters this by reinforcing a sense of inner assurance, encouraging action even when outcomes are not guaranteed. It does not require complete certainty about the future, but provides enough confidence to move forward despite uncertainty. This willingness to act is a key factor in overcoming limitation, as progress is only possible through consistent effort and engagement. Faith also reshapes the perception of risk. In a fear-driven mindset, risk is something to be avoided, often associated with potential loss or failure. This leads to overly cautious behavior, which can result in missed opportunities and stagnation. In a faith-centered mindset, risk is seen as a natural part of growth, something to be managed rather than feared. This perspective encourages calculated decisions, where potential benefits are considered alongside potential challenges. It fosters a proactive approach, where individuals are willing to step outside their comfort zones in pursuit of meaningful goals. Limitation often arises from deeply ingrained beliefs about what is possible. These beliefs can be influenced by upbringing, social environment, or past experiences, and they tend to operate subconsciously, guiding behavior without conscious awareness. Faith challenges these beliefs by introducing a broader perspective, one that is not confined by past limitations. It encourages individuals to question assumptions and consider new possibilities, gradually expanding their sense of what they can achieve. This process requires consistency, as changing deeply rooted beliefs takes time and repetition. Another important aspect is the role of faith in maintaining perseverance. Fear can be overwhelming during periods of difficulty, leading to discouragement and a desire to give up. When progress is slow or obstacles seem persistent, fear amplifies the sense of struggle, making it harder to continue. Faith provides a counterbalance by sustaining hope and motivation, even when results are not immediately visible. It allows individuals to remain focused on their goals, trusting that effort will eventually lead to progress. This persistence is often the difference between success and failure, as many achievements require sustained effort over time. Faith also influences how individuals view failure. In a fear-based mindset, failure is often seen as a definitive negative outcome, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and limitation. This can create a cycle where fear of failure prevents action, and lack of action prevents growth. Faith reframes failure as part of the learning process, an opportunity to gain insight and improve strategies. This perspective reduces the emotional impact of setbacks, making it easier to recover and continue moving forward. By removing the stigma associated with failure, faith encourages experimentation and innovation, both of which are essential for growth. The relationship between faith and focus is another key factor. Fear tends to scatter attention as the mind becomes preoccupied with multiple negative possibilities and hypothetical outcomes. This lack of focus reduces effectiveness and increases stress. Faith, by contrast, centers attention on constructive thoughts and purposeful action. It simplifies decision-making by aligning priorities with values and goals, reducing unnecessary mental noise. This clarity enhances productivity and allows individuals to direct their energy more efficiently. Faith also has a significant impact on emotional well-being. Fear often leads to chronic stress, which can affect both mental and physical health. This stress can impair judgment, reduce motivation, and create a sense of overwhelm. Faith promotes a sense of peace and balance, even in challenging situations. This does not mean ignoring problems, but it involves approaching them with a sense of confidence and composure. This emotional stability supports better decision-making and contributes to a more positive overall experience. In relationships and interactions, faith fosters trust and openness, while fear can lead to defensiveness and isolation. A person who operates from faith is more likely to communicate effectively, collaborate with others, and build meaningful connections. These relationships can provide support, encouragement, and opportunities that contribute to personal and financial growth. Fear, on the other hand, can create barriers, limiting interaction and reducing the potential for collaboration. The development of faith is an intentional process that involves consistent practice and reinforcement. It may include reflection, positive affirmation, and focusing on experiences that reinforce trust and possibility. Over time, these practices strengthen the mindset, making faith a natural response rather than a conscious effort. As this shift occurs, the influence of fear diminishes and limitations that once seemed fixed begin to dissolve. Faith does not eliminate uncertainty or guarantee immediate success, but it changes the way uncertainty is approached. It provides a foundation of trust that supports action, resilience, and growth, allowing individuals to move beyond the constraints of fear and limitation and engage more fully with opportunities and challenges in their lives. Inner belief attracts outer abundance by shaping the invisible framework through which a person interprets reality, makes decisions, and takes action. What an individual consistently believes about themselves, their worth, and their potential becomes the foundation upon which their external experiences are built. This belief operates quietly beneath the surface, influencing choices and behaviors in ways that are often not immediately obvious. When inner belief is strong, positive, and aligned with growth, it creates a mental environment that supports opportunity, resilience, and expansion. When it is weak or rooted in doubt, it limits perception and restricts the ability to move forward. The connection between inner belief and outer results can be understood through the way thoughts influence actions. A person who genuinely believes they are capable of achieving success approaches tasks with confidence and commitment. They're more likely to take initiative, explore new possibilities, and persist when challenges arise. This consistent pattern of behavior increases the likelihood of achieving positive outcomes, which then reinforces the original belief. In contrast, a person who doubts their abilities may hesitate, avoid risk, or abandon efforts prematurely, leading to outcomes that confirm their negative beliefs. This cycle demonstrates how internal perceptions can become external realities over time. Inner belief also affects how opportunities are recognized and pursued. Opportunities are not always obvious or clearly defined. They often require awareness and readiness to be noticed. A strong belief in one's ability to succeed enhances this awareness, making it easier to identify potential paths for growth. It encourages curiosity and openness, allowing individuals to explore options that they might otherwise overlook. On the other hand, limited belief can narrow focus, causing opportunities to be dismissed or ignored because they seem unattainable or outside one's capability. Another important aspect is the role of belief in shaping expectations. Expectations influence how individuals approach situations and interact with others. When a person expects positive outcomes, they tend to behave in ways that support those outcomes, such as preparing thoroughly, communicating effectively, and maintaining a constructive attitude. These behaviors create favorable conditions that increase the chances of success. Negative expectations, however, can lead to self-sabotaging behaviors such as lack of preparation, poor communication, or avoidance, which reduce the likelihood of achieving desired results. Inner belief also plays a crucial role in persistence. Achieving meaningful goals often requires sustained effort over time, and this effort is difficult to maintain without a strong sense of belief. When individuals trust in their ability to succeed, they are more willing to continue working toward their goals, despite obstacles or slow progress. This persistence allows them to accumulate experience, refine their strategies, and gradually move closer to their objectives. Without this belief, motivation may fade quickly, leading to inconsistent effort and limited results. The influence of inner belief extends to emotional responses as well. Confidence and self-assurance create a sense of stability, allowing individuals to remain composed under pressure. This emotional balance supports better decision-making and reduces the impact of stress. Doubt and insecurity, on the other hand, can lead to anxiety and hesitation, which interfere with clear thinking and effective action. By strengthening inner belief, individuals can develop greater control over their emotional state, enhancing both performance and well-being. Relationships and interactions are also shaped by inner belief. People tend to respond to the energy and confidence that others project. A person who believes in their value and capabilities is more likely to communicate assertively, set healthy boundaries, and engage with others in a constructive manner. This can lead to stronger connections, increased trust, and more opportunities for collaboration. Conversely, a lack of belief may result in passive or uncertain communication, which can limit the potential for meaningful interactions and growth. Inner belief influences how individuals perceive and utilize resources. Those who believe in abundance are more likely to see resources as tools that can be used creatively and effectively. They approach challenges with a problem-solving mindset, finding ways to maximize what they have. This resourcefulness can lead to innovative solutions and new opportunities. A mindset rooted in scarcity, however, may focus on what is lacking, leading to a sense of limitation that restricts creativity and initiative. The development of inner belief is a gradual process that involves changing thought patterns and reinforcing positive perceptions. It requires awareness of existing beliefs and a willingness to challenge those that are limiting. Through consistent practice, such as focusing on achievements, setting realistic goals, and maintaining a positive internal dialogue, individuals can strengthen their belief system. Over time, these changes become ingrained, influencing behavior and outcomes in a natural and sustained way. Another dimension is the alignment between belief and identity. When individuals see themselves as capable, resilient, and deserving of success, their actions naturally reflect these qualities. This alignment reduces internal conflict and creates a sense of coherence between thoughts and behaviors. Without this alignment, there may be a disconnect that makes it difficult to maintain consistent effort or achieve desired results. Inner belief also enhances adaptability. In a rapidly changing environment, the ability to adjust and respond effectively is essential. A strong belief in one's ability to learn and grow supports this adaptability, allowing individuals to embrace change rather than resist it. This openness to change increases the likelihood of finding new opportunities and staying relevant in evolving circumstances. The cumulative effect of inner belief on daily actions, decisions, and interactions becomes increasingly significant over time. Small differences in confidence and perception can lead to large differences in outcomes when compounded over months and years. This is why cultivating a strong and positive belief system is often considered a foundational element of success. By consistently nurturing empowering beliefs, individuals create an internal environment that supports growth, resilience, and opportunity, allowing external abundance to develop as a natural extension of their inner state.